An emotional queen exclaimed, "Oh my goodness, oh look at this," and described Platinum Jubilee crowds outside Buckingham Palace as fabulous, before turning to Prince George and saying, "Wow. Did you expect that?" as she was greeted by thousands of adoring fans yesterday. Surrounded by her family, including Prince Charles, Camilla, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, George, Charlotte and Louis, the Queen was loudly cheered after stepping onto the balcony of the palace to greet the crowds. The monarch, 96, appeared to be overwhelmed by the reception she received, turning to Prince Charles to remark on the fabulous crowds. The volume of the cheers increased even more as the Queen waved at well-wishers. After a stirring rendition of the national anthem from the audience and with red, white and blue smoke fired into the air, the Queen turned to Prince George and asked him, "Wow. Did you expect that?" The smiling young prince replied with a no, in another touching moment. The Queen's appearance on the balcony alongside her family came after the Platinum pageant, which told the story of her life, and the nation, with an eccentric and imaginative carnival-like display. The 96-year-old monarch was absent for much of the extended bank holiday weekend, after finding the first day enjoyable but tiring. In a message of thanks after her appearance, she acknowledged her absence but said her heart had been with well-wishers. She also said she remains committed to serving the nation to the best of my ability. The Duchess of Cornwall, patron of the Big Lunch, estimated that up to 18 million people could have taken part in Jubilee Street parties, and the Queen expressed her hope this renewed sense of togetherness would be felt for years to come. After the outpouring of public affection during her balcony appearance, the Queen said she was humbled and deeply touched so many people had taken part in celebrations marking her 70-year reign. The Queen said later in her message, "When it comes to how to mark 70 years as your Queen, there is no guidebook to follow. It really is a first. But I have been humbled and deeply touched that so many people have taken to the streets to celebrate my Platinum Jubilee. While I may not have attended every event in person, my heart has been with you all, and I remain committed to serving you to the best of my ability, supported by my family. I have been inspired by the kindness, joy and kinship that has been so evident in recent days, and I hope this renewed sense of togetherness will be felt for many years to come. I thank you most sincerely for your good wishes and for the part you have all played in these happy celebrations." The Queen had not been seen since she made 2 balcony appearances on the first day of the Jubilee celebrations, when Trooping the Colour was held, and the Duchess of Cambridge later said she had found the day enjoyable but tiring. But the Queen looked at ease on the balcony as the celebrations drew to a close, leaning on a walking stick, now a routine aid following her mobility issues, and acknowledging the crowds with a wave. The Prince of Wales stood with the Queen along with the Duchess of Cornwall, Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and their children Prince George, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis. After the national anthem was sung by a choir of celebrities including Sir David Jason, Harry Redknapp, Sir Cliff Richard, Sandy Shaw and Felicity Kendall, the Queen waved again at well-wishers and was joined by her great-grandchildren, with Louis waving with both hands. The royal family had planned to see a display by the Red Arrows from their balcony vantage point, but it was called off due to the low clouds which had threatened rain all day. Earlier in the day, Charles had expressed the same sentiment as the Queen when he spoke about the camaraderie the Jubilee events had fostered. He told revelers at the Big Lunch's flagship event in London, which he attended with Camilla, that he hoped bickering did not return after the feeling of togetherness across the nation. Princess Eugenie described the Jubilee pageant as incredible, writing on her Instagram, "The Platinum Jubilee pageant was just incredible. To all the people that took part, organized it, made it flawless for us all watching, thank you. You made us all so proud." A post on the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge's Twitter account read, "Amazing display of street art, theatre, music, sport and more. What a joyous occasion at the #Platinum Jubilee pageant." President Volodymyr Zelensky congratulated the monarch, saw. It comes after she stepped out onto the Buckingham Palace balcony for nearly 3 minutes, in her first public appearance since Platinum Jubilee celebrations began on Thursday. The monarch, 96, was greeted by roars from thousands of spectators gathered on the Mall as Britain's longest-serving head of state was helped onto the balcony by Prince Charles, Camilla, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, George, Charlotte and Louis. The royals then joined the crowd in a spine-tingling chorus of God Save the Queen shortly after 5 p.m., bringing the Jubilee celebrations to a close. Her Majesty, dressed in green, was missing from the royal box but arrived at the palace from Windsor Castle at around 4:30 p.m., when the royal standard was raised. She was last seen 4 days ago after pulling out of 2 Jubilee events amid growing concerns for her health. Pomp and pageantry kicked off the final day of Jubilee celebrations, celebrating the Queen's astonishing 70-year reign as a hologram of the young monarch waving at royal fans, and a ceremonial military procession launched the 2.5-hour pageant. Charles and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, their children George, Charlotte and Louis, Princess Anne, and Zara and Mike Tyndall are all seated in the royal box alongside Boris Johnson and his wife Carrie, Keir Starmer and Sadiq Khan to watch the 2-mile procession through central London. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, who are visiting the UK together for the first time since they acrimoniously quit royal duties, were absent for a second day running. Yesterday they celebrated their daughter Lilibet's first birthday, and introduced the child to her namesake. The pageant was split into 4 acts, for Queen and Country with a military parade. The time of our lives progressing through 7 decades of culture, music and fashion. Let's celebrate telling the story of the Queen's life in 12 chapters with corgi puppets and carnival creations, and the happy and glorious musical spectacle. Close to 200 national treasures including Sir David Jason, Harry Redknapp, Sandy Shaw, Felicity Kendall, Joe Wicks and Holly Willoughby joined pop sensation Ed Sheeran in a mass rendition of God Save the Queen outside Buckingham Palace at the end of the pageant. Guardsmen, Gurkhas, Royal Marines and the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment in their breastplates and plumed feathers were among the hundreds of servicemen and women who led the way marching along the streets around Buckingham Palace. Charles took the salute of various military units when they passed the royal box, and he stood to acknowledge the servicemen and women as they passed. Some 10,000 people including a cast of 6,000 performers are involved in staging the carnival route from Horse Guards, along Whitehall to Admiralty Arch and down the Mall to Buckingham Palace, echoing Her Majesty's 1953 coronation procession. British eccentricity was soon to the fore when the cyclists on a menagerie of bikes rode past Buckingham Palace, including a biker dressed as the character Elliot from the sci-fi movie E.T., complete with the extraterrestrial in the cycle's basket. As the decades flashed by, revelers in period 1940s clothes danced the Lambeth Walk, and further down the mall jiving performers represented the 1950s. Interspersed were iconic vehicles from Morris Minors, rockers on classic motorbikes and mods on scooters, while the national treasures, celebrities from across the years including Katherine Jenkins, Bonnie Langford, Alan Titchmarsh, Basil Brush, Kate Garraway and RuPaul's Drag Race stars Baga Chips and Blue Hydrangea, and fashion royalty Kate Moss and Naomi Campbell, traveled on buses. Sir Cliff Richard sang from the 1950s bus, former boxer Chris Eubank posed from the open-top deck of another, and TV presenter Johnny Ball joked on the BBC about the experience on the 1970s bus. "It's all right. But I am worried I haven't paid my fare." A peloton of 300 cyclists travelled down the mall led by Sir Chris Hoy and cycling golden couple Dame Laura and Sir Jason Kenny. The Queen's 3-minute appearance on the balcony delighted the crowd, who were not sure whether she would be there. It came after Ed Sheeran took to the stage to play his hit song Perfect, against a moving backdrop of a montage of video clips of the Queen throughout the years. Paula and Patrick Queenan, from Radlett in Hertfordshire, said the Queen and the royal family coming out onto the balcony was the best part of the Jubilee celebrations. Mrs. Queenan, 57, said, "Seeing the Queen come out on the balcony was amazing. We didn't know if she'd come or not. This was the first day that I've been here and this was the real highlight." Mr. Queenan, 58, added, "I came for the fly past on Thursday and the atmosphere was fantastic. Our daughter and her fiancé came down from Sheffield today. They're both doctors and so they're going to head back now and they're on duty tonight. We had a street party on Friday, the whole street came to ours and sang the national anthem. Seeing the Queen has been the best bit of this week.